Hello, this is Asia Vision Forum's great honors to have a Ph.D Fellow in Sweden, Lund University, Naoko Ta카yanagi. Very nice to meet you. Hello.
Thank you so much for giving such an opportunity for me of presenting my part of my research. My name is Naoko Ta카yanagi. I'm originally from Japan, but now I'm studying about K-pop in Lund University, Sweden. I trained as a musicology. It's like researching about music, and then I'm also interested in sound studies. It's much more sound. So when I got this opportunity to talk about the research in the Asian Vision Forum, I was a bit worried about what I can share the commonality of the interest. And then I checked the homepage, and then I found that 5 visions as Asian think tank, and number 4, the diffusion of K model. And then I'm thinking about maybe I can link with this K model with something in my research, especially about the acousticology, which I will talk later. So my research is K-pop, especially fan chanting, which is audience engagement in the concert. And because I'm interested in sound studies, how this sound of K-pop, actual sound of the K-pop, is understood by people, and then because of this global popularity, how does it transmitted to the other world, and then how they who do not live in Korea, who do not know about the Korean culture, understand those of the sound knowledge and how they practice it. And then that is my main point. So briefly, I will explain about my research, and this is the outline. So first, I'm just talking about the concert convention as a K model. Then I'm a bit explaining about how this research is located in the academic context, and then the third part is how the K-pop fan chant disseminate to the world, and then finally the fan chants as acousticology. Yes, and then first maybe I need to a bit set the limit for this K-pop. In this research, I set the limit of the K-pop as commercial-driven, idol-centered pop music. And then why I do this is because K-pop in, for example, Denmark is a bit different from what the K-pop that maybe the Korean people think about. And then this is an example from the Danish cultural website magazine. And they introduced the Inarchi, the indie band. And it said the alternative K-pop group Inarchi charmed the audience at this year's Roskilde Festival. So the Inarchi is the music genre, music itself is much more like indie rock mixed with pansori, Korean traditional music. So, and then they do not do trained as an idol. So they are not K-pop at all. But in this context, in Denmark context, K-pop is something used as a vague term to depict the popular music that the Koreans perform, regardless of the music genre. But here, when I talk about the K-pop, I'm much more share with the idea with the Korean people that there's something that K-pop as idol-centered pop music packaged by entertainment company. Yes, and then let's go dive into the K-pop concert. So there is several K-pop conventions, K-pop concert conventions, and then we could say that is a kind of the K model. And then first thing is light stick on wonbon.
Light stick.
On wonbon. Yes. And then also slogan. Actually, today I brought the slogan So,
don't worry, don't.
but that is something the paper slogan, and then something the message is written, and then those are the messages are from fan to artist. So sometimes like thanks to the artist, or sometimes they cite it from something the lyrics, and they show the artist that they are thank you or something they are love. And that is also one of the concert convention in K-pop scene. And then also song culture, it's kind of the exchange the present among the fans. So the fans prepare the something the present beforehand, and then when they go to the concert, they exchange the something that maybe sometimes it's just snacks, or maybe something the handmade goods to the other fellow fans. And then fan chants, which is the singing along and shouting and screaming in the concert. Those are K-pop concert convention. Then export the K-pop concert conventions. So when K-pop concerts are held overseas, the audience concert convention is also exported. And the light stick, yes, obviously. And then also slogan. The bottom left of the picture, that is a slogan made by Danish K-pop fans. And then that time, it's almost the first time that the K-pop idol, major K-pop idol, did the concert in Denmark. And then they prepared this slogan from, I'm not for sure, but like 2 or 3 months ago. So they just decide what kind of the design they do and what kind of the message they choose, and then they also order to the printed company, and then also they distributed those of the slogan by themselves. And then I asked to those of the fans who actually initiated those of this project, and why did you guys do that? And then she said, we cannot do K-pop concert without it. So this slogan is something that they're taking for granted. So I was really amazed at this experience. And then also song culture. This is adapted in the outside of the Korea as well. And then the upper right picture is from Polish K-pop fan. She drew something the idol picture by herself, and then she said, I got so much inspiration from them, the idols, so I made stickers and postcards, and then she just distributed to the fellow fans. And then also as a fellow fans, something that gave her something the snacks or something the bracelet that they made by themselves, and then it making something that very much communal atmosphere. But the fan chants, that is a bit a different demography, because the one German fan said that we means the Europeans, that we do not do fan chants, but Koreans do. And then those of the discourse is not only this German fan, but I also heard this several times, we Europeans tend not to do fan chant, but the Koreans do. And there is something, the discourse that Europeans do not do fan chant, but the Koreans do. But if you go to the concert in Europe, definitely there are so many loud sound and there are so many singing. So it's not something that they do not do fan chanting, but there is something, the different kind of the understanding of what they are thinking about fan chant and what the Koreans thinking about fan chant. So that my point is, what is this discourse is, and then explain about how the behind of this discourse. Yes. I think maybe this is a bit too much, so I quickly, briefly explain about what my research is. But basically, this research is located in the so-called sensory turn, or the affective turn in the humanities and the social sciences. So it's not only K-pop, but it's much more all over the academic research. We are too much focusing on visual-centric research, so that like my research, we should not focus on, but we should much more care about the sound. Sensory aspect that was kind of ignored because it's not rational as a Western European philosophical tradition. So I just advocate how actually sound is in the K-pop. We need to sincerely face on the sound of this enthusiasm of the K-pop. And then that is my whole of the kind of the something, the passion that driving this research. And one theory that I would like to introduce, and then also whole of the based on my research, is acoustimology. That is the anthropologist Stephen Feld proposed in his research on Kaluri people in Papua New Guinea. So his proposal is that sound as a way of knowing the world. So that is acoustimology is a mix with acoustic and epistemology. So what the epistemology makes is not only something that people's like text or like logocentric approach, but it's much more sound should be included here. And then that is the whole of the base of my research. And then back to the fan chant. So what is the fan chant? So when we think about this definition of the fan chant, the E and Kao, their research paper about the online K-pop concert, they made the definition of the fan chant as highly organized set of the audience responses that fans are expected to memorize and shout at predetermined times during the song. And the guidance on how to sing fan chants, which called the fan chant guide on Wonbom, is provided as text information or a video format on the official online platform run by the company. What does it mean? So this is a text information of the how to do fan chants. So K-pop company published the text or video information of the fan chant guide, and then fans basically living in Korea singing the fan chant at Sajon Nokfa, the pre-recording for the music TV show. And then fans watch this Korean TV show, of course on TV, but also on the internet, YouTube, and social media. And then finally, fans who goes to concert do this fan chant in live concerts. That is the ecology of the fan chant. And then this fan chant guide is very much details. For example, it says after the after the 8 seconds, 8 seconds after start the music, the fans have to say Kim Namjoon, Kim Seokjin, Min Yoongi, blah blah blah. Or after the singer says, "Oh, tell me," and then fans have to say, "Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah." Those kind of the guidance. And then also sometimes the guidance including where the fans should screaming. So that such a fan chant, diverse components of the fan chant, such as name and slogan chants, or call and response, or shouting. And maybe for Korean people, those of the fan chanting or what these practices is maybe understood as the taechan, the collective singing. A definition of the taechan is, according to Choi, the taechan refers to singing a song loudly with certain rules and formed by a group who share a purpose. In larger terms, it includes utilizing the dance and the tools to maximize and achieve the purpose, not limited to singing. So that the slogan that I mentioned before, that is also maybe part of the taechan. And those of the people who do taechan, how we can consider about these people. And the K-pop fans are not passive audience in the concert, they are active audience. The Kim Jong-un sensei said that their activity is kind of the both listenership and musicianship. And then those are the kind of the lively moment that the audience actively engaged to the concert sphere is in the Korean culture sense. And Seokhyun Kim mentioned that this K-pop's liveness is actually the home in the Korean culture. So to make the dose of that K-pop liveness, people prepare a lot for the concert beforehand. So preparing the song or listening to the songs, searching the fan chant guide and memorizing it. And then also I saw a lot of the fans making clothes inspired by idols' music videos. And then those active engagement before going to concert can be maybe K model, I would say. Then back to the very much first question of Europeans do not sing fan chant, but Koreans do. I could say there is the 2 point could decode this. One is the compositional character. So singing along is a result of the K-pop's musical character, hook. And the hook is kind of like the ear-warming, repetitive, catchy phrase. In the K-pop composition, this hook is used a lot. So like naturally, people are like easily to get remember the dose of the hook, which is applied to the fan chanting. So fan chant guide is actually a well-designed spontaneousness. So it is hard to judge whether the audience follow the guide or not. And then maybe it makes people confusing that they do fan chant or not. And secondly, the uncertainty of the semantic level of the translation. So the Korean people said those of the activity as a taechan, so that they have shared name that called this as taechan. But there's a nothing English translation, especially the distinctive translation of the taechan. So some people say fan chant as the same meaning as on wonbom, which is the guide of fan chanting. So that they say, oh, we do not do follow the guide 100%. That is the meaning of that we do not do fan chant. Or sometimes fan chant is only saying the name and slogan chant, which is saying the only idols group's name or member's name and so on. So that the people say, oh, we do not do fan chant, which means actually we do not do name and slogan chant. So back to the definition of the taechan. So taechan is something the singing along loudly by a group who share a purpose. So what is the shared purpose in this context? That is to cheer and to root it for idols in the K-pop context. And then maybe in Korean, it can be said on won, because that's the reason why they said that this fan chant guide as a on won bom, the how to do on won. And then when I think about on one as much more deeper level, I would say there's the 2 levels of this meaning. And one is a very much an altruistic attitude, which is not selfish, like not pursuing their own benefit, but rather they sacrifice themselves and then thinking about 2 others. That is the attitude of on-one. And then also one more thing is the ambiguous distance between the one who support and one other who gets supported. Because maybe sometimes fans' subjectivity is sometimes overlap with the idols, so that their distance is actually very much blurred, sometimes overlapped. So it's nothing like support for someone. 시원하다. 시원하다, maybe Korean. Yes. So the mind of on-one can be seen in European fans' fan chanting, such as imagining the performance through the sounding. And then when I talk about the European fans, they said, we singing for idols who came from Korea by the flight, and then that was so long time, so that we just wanted to show them to thank you to coming to Europe for taking the 10 hours and the 12 hours. That is very much kind of the imagining the performance through the sounds kind of the attitude. And then also, some people said I shouted a lot for a specific member, and then why they do is because the member was actually less popular member compared to others, so that they wanted to show those of the less popular member that we are the fans. And then those of the kind of the thinking about others attitude through the sound is actually, I can see those of the attitude in the European fans as well. In that sense, maybe those of the K model, including the fan chant, is, yes, it is transmitted to the world. And then finally, acousticological thinking of the K-pop fan chants. So doing fan chant is actually simultaneously singing and listening. And that is evidenced by some people's talking. For example, one Swedish fan who went to the Blackpink concert, she briefly mentioned about her experience of the K-pop concert, and then she said, the one next to me was not Blink because he was muted. The Blink is the name of the Blackpink fans. And then she judged this person is not the member of the fandom because of the fan chanting sound. Or the Korean fan said, the younger one do not do fan chant properly. So she judged the person who do not do fan chant properly as a less experienced as a being fandom in that community. Or we do not fan chant, but Koreans do. That is a German fan said. So judging the individual's attribution by fan chanting, those of the sound is very much directly correct to the way of thinking of the people's how to recognize fandom, how to recognize their belonging, the groups that they belongs to. So building a knowledge production that leads to constructing identity is implemented through the sound, which is the function sound, and then sound-related activities, that is something, the activities that are related to the functions. So those are my findings and then some of the part of my research.
Wow.
Yes, and then those are reference list, but yes, thank you so much. Sorry for taking much more time.
Wow. Yeah, very interesting. I first time hear your research team very closely because when I first hear your research topic,
대창.
I can never imagine. Wow, such a very weird and very common subject to research about K-pop. Because yeah, it's very interesting because your research team is more focusing on the sound and acousticology. That is very different perspective because previously most K-pop research is focusing on the visual side, choreographies and also because the K-pop is very splendid and the visual show for the European people. Yeah, but you are more focusing on the sound aspect in terms of in the perspective of anthropology. The Taechang and Penchant and the Taechang and Umon is a little bit different. Yeah, it's very interesting.
Oh, thank you so much.
Taechang, because Taechang is a very Korean term, but
Yes.
it's the Tae is a Korean, it's a group, and Chang is a Chinese character, the sound. So Taechang is very Korean term, but very Asiatic term, but it have a very special meaning. Based on your research perspective.
Thank you so much. And then also the Taechang, the word itself is not so much old term. According to the Choi, I read her articles. She also briefly explained about this history of the Taechan term, and she found that the first appeared in the Korean media was, I forgot exact the year, but I think maybe it was 1996. So that's very much new term, but of course that was used before the 1996. But finally, it turned to the whole of the big media, so that the people had the common kind of the sense for the Taechan. And then I think this singing along together is quite tied with the Korean culture since the beginning. I think because of the political movement or student movement, that they singing a song and protest to the power, the government, for example, or maybe the farmers also singing along together to overcome very much hard work of this farming. So I think maybe singing along together itself is very much tied and then almost completely taking for granted for people's something the society and then people's mind as well. That is my impression that I came here.
And also, because you are Japanese, so Korean's penchant is more unfamiliar with you, right?
Yes, that is a very much good point, because there is a discourse that Japanese audience is basically very much quiet.
Quiet.
Yeah, whatever genre it is. So it's not only K-pop, maybe it's also in the rock concert as well, and then of course the classic concert, and then any other kind of the popular music concert. People say the Japanese audience is quiet, and sometimes it is good, sometimes it is bad. But I came from those kind of the culture, and then I found out how they are really, really lively and strongly engaged to the music. And maybe those of the contrast between the Japanese quiet audience and the K-pop's very much loud audience also very much fascinate me, and then maybe driving my research to much more focus on this Taechan, the activity itself.
You came from Sweden, and this is North Europe. While you studying and staying in Sweden, you took part in the K-pop concert held in Sweden or other European region.
How
the K-pop concert.
How did I go to where did I go? Which K-pop concert? I went a lot. So I went to the concert held in Copenhagen, Denmark, and then Berlin, Germany, Paris in France, London, the UK.
Oh my God, London!
Yes, and then also Madrid in Spain, and then Amsterdam, Antwerp, Belgium.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically.
My question is, can you have a chance to compare the K-pop concert cultures in Europe to the other European pop stars concert? I mean, in terms of pageant.
I see. It's a good question. So, for example, first things actually I thought was maybe I can compare with something the Scandinavian K-pop fan, and for example, maybe the continental European fans. And then, but I realized that in the European countries, it's very much small actually. And then, if you go to the K-pop concert, you can see a lot of the people from all over the European continent. So, for example, when I went to the concert in Berlin, the people who surrounded me, like the people who sit next to me, they are all non-German. Some of them coming from Switzerland, some of them coming from Netherlands, some of them coming from Spain. So all are not German people, But I went to the German concert though. So it is impossible to say that this K-pop concert in Berlin is German fans' representation or something. Because there's so many people who go to the K-pop concert around the world. So that I thought maybe comparing to the European, each country is not a good idea because of the, anyway, people are traveling around the world, and then I cannot say that generalizing that this Berlin concert is a German fan chant sound or something. So that I mix with this kind of the European generalized the soundscape of the fan chants. But I can compare to the Korean because of the geographical distances and then also cultural differences, so that it's much more easier to compare. And then actually there is some of the differences and then also the commonalities that I presented earlier. Yes.
I checked the IU concert in the Europe and America and other countries, because the Korean people only see basically the K-pop artist and there's the concert in the everywhere in the globe. So Panchant and the Eunwon and the Eunwon and singing together. It's a very familiar culture for Korean people. So we don't have any laser question about this culture. But European peoples, I think it's very special because they have to memorize all the lyrics of the IU's 가사 before coming to the concert and sing together for singer. Have you seen that? The most of common, yeah.
I haven't seen the IU concert's case, but I also experienced that some of the European fans remember that the Korean lyrics and especially the rap part. It's so speedy, the rapping, and then in the Korean world it's so difficult, but some people actually did very much correctly and very much enthusiastically, and that amazed me. So some of the people really took so much hard time to remember and absorb all of the thing, lyrics and sang the song for the Korean artist. But at the same time, so many fans actually give up to remember, especially Korean lyrics, because of the language differences. It's so huge. But because of the K-pop compositional style, there are so many English lyrics or so many English words, especially in the hook or chorus, which is very much catchy part in the song. And then those of the European fans are easily to sing along with those of the catchy phrase, English phrase kind of the part in the K-pop songs. And then they do the fan chanting of the only those English catchy phrases. And then that it also sounds like very much following the fan chants guide.
Okay, so my basic question is more very simple. Why do you think the European peoples, young generations, love K-pop? Many reasons maybe. So what is your point to understand the phenomenon of K-pop in Europe?
Yes, of course there is so many reasons, and then one of the biggest reasons is something that I criticize, that the visual centric. But that is actually true, because so many people are just watching the snippet of the music videos, and then it attracted people because of the maybe some visualistic, artfully something the clothes or maybe choreography or something the visual effect, so that I cannot deny the visual point, visual perspective is less important. So of course the visual is important, but in the sound level, I think the earwarming, the catchy phrases, that once if you listen to the song, it never ever you cannot forget. Maybe that is also one of the reasons why it attracts the people. For example, recent catchy phrases or recent catchy song. Sorry, I cannot, I cannot remember. But there is something the phrases, and then also I think dance is very much important part for especially the European K-pop fandom, because so many K-pop fans are actually really joining something the dance club or dance team or participate something the random dance event. And then they are very much filming the videos and upload to YouTube and so on. So this kind of the mix visual and catchy song is something making the synergy, and then that attract the people and then never fly away into the people.
I think based on your observations, the value of K-pop and the why people love the K-pop, I think it is you are focusing on the participation, right? Daechang is a kind of participation, and the dance covering is also participation. People's participation and join together and enjoy together in the concerts, not only in the concert and outside the concert also they dance covers and memorizing the lyrics. Also the music is the power of the music, but K-pop is more actively attract the people to join together, right?
Yes, yeah, I agree with you. Yes, as you said, that this like participation, like this whole of the K-pop product never make the audience as just a passive consumer, but that they urge people to do something, do the next, do with us, kind of the attitude that they provide. I think maybe that makes this K-pop culture as bigger and bigger ever.
Yes. In terms of this subject, the participations, you stay in Seoul over 1 month, right? Yeah. In this period, Korea's political situation is very interesting. I heard that you took part in the Yeouido people's demonstrations the last week. What did you see in that place?
Yes, so I went to the protest for the president's impeachment.
Impeachment.
Yeouido, and I've never experienced such a musical demonstration. So before I also joined the demonstration in Sweden and Norway as well, but they are much more. They are just marching, but doing something Sprechchor, it's be like, for example, like free Palestine kind of the things. So nothing that music there, and it's just something that placard, something that slogan, and then say something that. Their messages, that's it. But those of the Korean Protestant, there are so many music, and I felt it's much more music festival rather than the political Protestant. And then people are also shouting the Sprechchor, but it's always on the music. It's always like mixed with the music. And then I felt, oh my God, that is a kind of the actual Daechang experience. People are singing along together with one purpose, a shared purpose, which is like the impeach the president. Then I felt very much powerful messages from them. And then also, especially this Protestant, I saw a lot of light stick, K-pop on there. So I felt like the K-pop is very much like a part of the daily life, and then actually it is used for the political sphere, But the K-pop fans has been always very much political, I think, since the beginning, or at least very much having the experience to fight with something, the power, for example, fighting with the company, and then claim them to please take care of the artist or do something for the artist who got something, the stalking or sasen fans, something the threatened or so on. So the fans are always know how to fight to the power. And then I think that this movement is just those of the what K-pop fans experienced is became visible. So I felt strongly a bit feminist sympathy to them who joined to the protest, and also the K-pop fans as well.
Yeah. So you mean the lots of the K-pops used in the Korean political rallies and protests. There is many reasons, including the daechang cultures and the 응원봉 and supporting cultures and the many K-pop's ingredients strongly related to the Korean's political culture and its development the previous years. Do you like?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, said that those of the K-pop fans very much experienced that the fight to the power is now it's be visible. So I credited this idea to the Isoyum.
So many people interpret the K-pop cultures into the politicals, the Koreans, the development and economic development also. That is the point is also I think we are based on our dialogue is the participation, people's participation, right? K-pop has a lot of power to bring the people's participation.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not only Korea, but also, like for example, it was 2, 3, 4 years ago when in the United States the Black Lives Matter was a bigger movement. I think a lot of the K-pop fans, especially the BTS fans, participated in sort of the political event. So that the K-pop fans are not only passive consumers, but they are very much active activists. And because of this participant culture, they know how to participate in this movement, and they know how to show their messages, so that the K-pop fans are very much knowledgeable for the visibility.
Yes. Your experience is also the K-pop's experience. Thank you for coming here, and we hope to connect more. And see you again.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me to this great forum.
Thank you.
Thank you.